What's going on, guys? Welcome to episode 19. It's a bit of change of scenery today because Suey is...
Who let the dogs out? This is going to be
something special, mate. We got no rules, mate. No structure.
Hey,
We're going to go crazy.
Hey, Mems, you see this agenda?
Fuck your structure, Mems.
Suey, your agenda? Again.
See ya, mate. We're here to fucking rock and roll.
I said last week when you left, we're going to make some changes here or you're gone.
Hey, the boys will be lucky to come back to a job, eh? Fuck.
Alright, if this video gets more views than the rest, we're sacking Suey, we're sacking everyone, and we're just going to have it
straight out.
Just as a sign of disrespect, we'll keep filming in your house.
That's it. We'll message you to open the... No, I reckon that's too far. He's in Qatar now, losing it. When he's watching this in a couple of days...
He's going to link it. He's going to link it.
Jinning.
I wanted to say sorry to the viewers that there's not going to be a vlog this week because there was a lot of issues with that whole situation. So we took the GoPro, which is what we usually use to record.
Fuck, resources are scarce at the moment.
Big time. Subscribe, please.
Boys, get us paid. Look, we don't even have any fucking snacks. I'm starving.
Yeah, we stopped the snacks. So usually does that. I usually film through like a hole in the fence and I stick the GoPro through. If you break it, like it's a GoPro, it's usually that shit.
Yeah.
I took the very expensive big camera there and I could just barely fit it through the gate. I'm like,
Yeah,
if
no,
someone
no.
comes running through and hits the camera, I'm fucked.
Yeah.
I'm dead.
We're gone.
So
we wouldn't even be able to do the podcast.
I couldn't really film it properly. It was big missions, but yeah, sorry boys. No vlog this week.
It'll be back soon, but...
Yeah, 100% Suey will be back soon. I'll try film it with my phone this week, but no promises again.
See how we go. You know?
Let's go.
Yes. Okay, so what's first on the agenda?
Honestly, I just want to see how everyone's going, how their
Yes,
week's been.
yes,
So, Adam, we'll
sweet.
start with you. How's your
I'm
week
well. Busy week, sort of standard. My Monday to Friday, you know, we actually have careers here. We're not full-time podcasters as we wish
we wish we were. You guys can make that happen, just saying.
Oh, you full can too. Like, what the fuck?
So the project that I'm working on at the moment, sort of our handovers in a few weeks. Everyone's under the pump, but I love when things are under the pump. We've all stepped our game up. You know, we've got a big team about 30 of us out at Pitt Street.
That's actually big, man.
Yeah, so it's been good. Work's been good. Other than that, still working on the weekends, trying to make ends meet, sort of thing. I'm off to Lebanon in a couple of weeks, which I'm really excited about as well. So I'm there for a little bit. And other than that, just I'm still on that high from that fucking UFC card.
Oh wow!
I wasn't involved in that podcast.
Don't.
But wow.
Apparently, I got given a new one on TikTok, bro.
Yeah.
Mate, I was just so happy that my prediction of Pereira knocking him out.
You get demolished on TikTok.
Bro, apparently I got abused. Keep it coming.
The TikTok comment section.
We like
The
it.
TikTok comment section is ruthless. It's like COD lobbies from back in the day.
What
bro.
was it? You sort of
Yeah, because
against Pereira?
remember when I called Pereira a fraud?
Yeah, he kept saying that.
I was a fraud.
But I don't think he's a mate. I actually see again. After the fight, I sort of appreciated the way Adesanya fights, and I understood him a bit more. But again, like I've said since day dot, put anyone there that was going to knock Adesanya out, I was gonna be vouching for him. That's just me. I'm on the Kamza. I'm on the Chandler. I watch UFC for that sort of. I don't think I appreciate the sport enough to care about the technicalities about it. I just want to see a show.
Explosive contact. You like the entertainment aspect of it.
Anyway.
Yeah, and I don't watch
Arnold.
sport at all, man.
You don't watch UFC.
I don't watch UFC.
Too violent.
I tried to get into it, but it's not me, man. Like, I don't even like boxing. You know, it makes no sense.
No combat sort of.
Nah, no combat sports at all.
love boxing.
I know. I watched it last week. You said you liked the NBA and
the
football.
NBA and football. That's it.
Wow.
Artistic sports. At this point, I'd say the NBA. over football.
Do you watch what's it called, water polo? And
No.
Mate, do you know what I watched?
Swim, bro, so I can't get into that. You know.
You know what I watched the other day, and I think I got to make a disclaimer. I've got disabled family and stuff and whatnot, so this is not a dig. I watched wheelchair rugby league,
Oh,
intense.
bro.
and looking into it, I thought you had to be disabled to be in a wheelchair and play wheelchair rugby. I watched the final.
I
I think
always assumed that as well.
no, you can be a fully fledged normal person.
Yep.
And jump in a wheelchair and play wheelchair. And this is nothing against
Not
the
saying
sport.
normal,
I just couldn't believe it.
No, that's.
I
that
have a
blows my mind.
mate that actually plays for New South Wales in Australia. His name's William. Shout out to Will. And he, like, as you said, he's completely
Completely.
able, and he jumped into a wheelchair and goes
And
out.
how good is that? And I'm using it as a positive. Like it's,
Yeah,
so,
100%.
it's so
It's so
inclusive.
cool.
It's
Yeah,
crazy.
right.
Big
Yeah, it
time,
was,
mate.
mate. I was dumbfounded yesterday. My cousin was over. We sort of watched it. It was on Fox Sports, and it was actually pretty good to watch. I'm like, bro, like,
And
are
then
they
one day-
disabled? Blah blah. Are they going to get out to celebrate? How does it work? And he searched it, and he's like, it accommodates for everyone.
That's
Crazy.
really nice. I like
Bro,
that.
the captain of England is like 59 years old. Like, man, it's crazy. Yeah,
Wow.
so inclusive. But yeah.
I like that.
And Arnold, you.
Oh, yeah, talk
what
to
you
me,
been?
man. Oh, man. Decent week, bro. Just had work Monday and Friday, as he said as well. Can't say it's full on.
Nah.
I can't say it's full on. So chilled, honestly. So chilled. I hope no one sees this. But hey, I'm doing the best that I can.
Do you get to work from
everything
home?
else done. Yeah, so I get 1 week at home, 1 week in the office. But I'd rather be in the office, to be fair, because
Yeah,
when
you're
you're at
like
home
me.
sometimes.
You do 0.
It's not that, bro. It's just you have no one to talk to. It's just
Yeah.
you get on your phone too much, and it's just in a.
Have you got a good setup at home?
beautiful setup at home? So sometimes I do it downstairs. We got like literally 2 screens going.
Wow.
But in my room, it's too much temptation. There's too much around.
Yeah.
Hate it. Apart from that, play basketball. Went back to our first game of the season. Got
Yeah.
fucking clapped, bro. Played against a bunch of 20-year-olds, bro. These kids were nuts. First mistake was we got them angry in the first half. Second half, they came out. And
What's in the chicken these
clapped
days?
us by 22, bro.
What's in the
Clapped
chicken
us
these
by
days?
22. And then that was it, man. Now I'm here.
TK?
Yeah, I'm good, bro. Always good, man. Always good. Doing God's work, as I like to say.
That's it, mate.
You really did, man. He saved me through this week. He saved me big time. We won't talk about it though. He saved my ass.
God's
You
work.
say my ass too.
Tell you
What does that saying mean, God's work? I've never heard that before.
Oh, it's
Oh,
just
it's
like
just
when
a
you
cl-
do good deeds.
Yeah.
for people.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
mate.
Doing good God's
Massive
work.
deeds.
Mad.
Shout out to T,
Big
bro.
time. Yeah,
Shout out to
everyone
T,
stop
bro.
grilling him on.
I can't.
No, bring the grill, bring the
He
grill.
saved my life.
I
No, no,
can't
bring
say
the
I do
grill,
any of
bring
that. Any of those sort of.
Mate, you just rock up and bang, mate.
That's
It's-
it, mate. Zero any other effort. I just rock up. I talk my shit and I leave.
Yeah, facts.
Nah, have
I rock
to
up
then.
late and always leave in a hurry, but that's fucking me, mate.
Hey, everyone's got their own personality traits.
To be expected with the boys.
So, boys, Suey's touched down in Qatar. I'm not
Oh,
gonna lie, I'm
mate.
quite jealous. I'm seeing the guy on the balcony just living his own life.
Mate, it
He's
looks-
getting
He
interviewed
is-
by
he is
some
glowing.
Spanish reporter.
Mate.
I'm actually quite jealous of the bloke.
He is glowing.
Yeah.
Oh,
Bro,
my
how-
Dead
God.
serious, bro. He looks beautiful out
Mate,
there.
he's fuck. Maybe that's what he needed.
He
Like, not
needs
that he
to-
had a shit lifestyle. He's into the. He's back in the gym.
Yeah, bro.
I've been telling him, brother, tan your legs.
He
He's
looks
looking
good.
tan.
He looks good, man.
Bro, he's looking fit. He's
Hey, he
smiling
needs
more
to
than
live
ever.
there. He needs to live there. I'm telling you now.
Nah,
He
do
needs
you
to
know?
live
Do you
there.
know what it is, bro? I think Suey was in. Suey puts a lot of pressure on himself. Number one. Number two, I think anyone who is in our sort of age group, let's say 25 to 30,
I'm not in your age group, but yeah.
young, but you probably don't feel the pressure that we feel. I think Sydney has so much fucking pressure.
Do you want to put
Louder,
money on it?
Nah.
Do you want to put money on it?
Louder.
No, but do you agree
No,
with
no,
what
I
I'm
agree
saying?
with you completely,
Between
bro.
25
It
and
changes
30,
you. It changes you completely.
you start thinking about tomorrow a bit more. And I felt, and I think so we can agree, mate. Me and him vibe like crazy. I think we're two very sort of happy-go-lucky. But I could see Suey a little bit sort of down. Ask him, when I rang him and he told me he was going to Qatar, I go, brother, let this trip and ensure this trip changes your life. Because I can just see the headspace he's in and it makes you fucking happy. It makes you want to be more positive, man. And I think this is what Suey wants to do. I think Suey's dream, without me knowing him that well, for me to know his dream, he loves going around. He loves traveling. He loves talking to people. He loves cameras, fashion. Right now, he's living his fucking dream, and I love it. And if that doesn't inspire you to chase your dream, what does? No, but it's true.
Honestly, he's got a point, man. Like, have you seen Suey lately, bro?
Yeah, bro.
Like, he's a completely different. He's like you said, it's like he's got a halo
Bro,
around him.
every
When I used to
single
follow-
single little
Oh.
snap he sends.
And the smile, bro, it gets bigger every time, man. Like, he's there.
Brother, stay longer. I think he's there for 2 weeks, bro. Do the whole thing.
Stay
if you
longer,
can.
we'll run this shit. Don't
Yeah,
worry.
don't worry.
It's our-
Bro, you're cool.
JFS,
Nah,
I
agree
got
with
that too. I'll learn how to.
Mems too, bro. Mems looks so happy.
Yeah, so does man.
Nah, it's good,
but,
man.
But I feel like Suey, because he's in his element.
He's in his
It's the
element,
World
big time.
Cup. It's a big world sort of event, mate.
I'm proud of him.
Yeah,
honestly. I'm very
me
proud of
too,
him.
man.
I'm glad that
So
it happened. He
Hutchinson,
deserved
you're
it.
blessed,
It's
my
like when the Telstra customer support tells you to turn your phone off and on again. That's what he's doing right now.
That's
He's
it,
resetting.
mate. Resetting. True.
Same thing.
Agreed.
We're gonna have some juicy content coming for you guys from that trip and from Mem's trip as well. They've both been making big industry connections. Like, get excited. It's
How
it's
good,
real.
man. Yeah, I'm
The
excited.
couch is
real.
going overseas. We're gonna do
The couch
something
is
in Lebanon as
international.
well.
Mate, yeah, definitely. Look, I'll try keep the content PG rated. Look, I'm
Please.
hoping this trip's going to be a rated R sort of trip, but we'll see how we go.
Adam, shut
I
up.
think from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. I can probably film after 8 a.m. I think cameras might have to be off, but
When you
we'll,
guys, is it winter or summer?
we'll see how we go. It'll be winter, man, so I'm fucking really... I've done Lebanon plenty of times in summer.
Hey, winter is beautiful.
Yeah, it's
Go
more
to the
cozy.
mountains, go to the
Cozy
mountains, go to the
mountains,
snow.
adders, food. It's just a different vibe in winter. Christmas, New Year's. I think Lebanon's very joyful around those times as well, sort of thing. So
Short comedy story for you. When I was in Lebanon, I was like 10 or no, I was 7 or 8, right? And my mum gave me 20,000 lira. It was $20 Australian back then. And she
now,
goes, this is your
40,000 lira
bro.
makes $1.
I know, it's so
just
bad.
to let you guys know. So just to sort of let the viewers know, 20,000 lira made $20.
It was 1,000 to $1 now.
There you go. 40,000 lira makes $1.
It's bad.
Yeah. Anyway.
But, she goes, this is your spending money for the whole trip. It really wasn't. But like that, she just wanted me to not spend it all in one place because I'm a kid, you know? So we're in the mountains. I'm cold as shit. I want to play snow fights because I'm a kid. I want to throw snowballs at my mum and not get in trouble, right? There's this lady selling gloves in a box at the thing. And they were like probably 2,000 lira or something. I go up to this lady and I'm holding my note like this, right? Like it's my whole life. I'm like, how much are gloves? And she looks at my note and looks at me. She goes, 20,000.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I look at it. I'm like contemplating. I'm looking at it. Okay, fine. It's worth it. I give her the money, bro. She literally fed her whole family for a month. All right. She gives me these gloves. I didn't even get to enjoy it because no one else had gloves. So it was not fair if I threw snowballs. I got in trouble anyway.
Mate,
So I wasted
you
my
got
money. I got
hustled
demolished.
hard.
You got hustled.
Never again. If I go back, I'm funding
Welcome
her.
to street
You
knowledge.
got hustled.
8-year-old Mo got ripped.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. All right, boys. So we're going to start off. It's going to be a nice short episode today. First wrap up we're going to start off with is the Formula One. I brought this in. I know the Formula One season was kind of dead and finished up, but just wanted to shout out Sebastian Vettel.
Wow.
He finished up his career, and I think it's just time he gets his props. I personally, there was a time I didn't like Vettel, and that would have been when he was driving for Red Bull. Was not a big fan of Vettel, and I think it's a lot of similar to like what Max is doing now. Just the dominance, you know, when a sportsman gets too good and they're too dominant, and you go, I just want to see this guy crumble.
Yeah.
I want to see this guy crumble.
It's a big fall from
I
the
think
top.
that was with me with Vettel because I was seeing back then when I was a lot younger, I was very pro Ferrari. I was a big Ferrari fan, and I loved Ferrari because of Schumacher. And I've kind of jumped ship now and gone with the Mercedes because of Hamilton. But yeah, man, just seeing him finish up, it's actually brought back like a lot of memories, and just want to shout it out, man. I think in hindsight, like you see how much of a good person Vettel was, how much he's done for the sport, inside and outside of the sport as well. And it's just you see from like the drivers going out to dinner.
Yeah, I've seen
obviously
that.
paying for his dinner, doing this big farewell. You can kind of see the impact that he's left on the sport. So I just want to say, bro, thank you for fucking an amazing, I think 12 years, 13 years that he was in the sport. Really dedicated to his life, and like whatever he goes and does on from this point forth, like fuck, well done, bro. It's a hard sport to be at the
And
top
good luck,
for that long and be dominant. I know he had a 4-year of dominance, and arguably he could have won a title with Ferrari, and things didn't go his way, partially to the car and also due to some driving errors he made. But fuck, bro, what a career! And just shout out to the big man himself.
Well done. And good
Mate,
luck.
two things of that, mate. He's retiring. Imagine his bank account, number one.
Oh, wow.
Second thing I want you
It's got
guys to
the M's.
imagine the hostility on that dinner table. Bro.
Between the other drivers.
Bro.
I reckon they would have let down, bro.
You reckon?
Yeah, man.
It's not about that.
Bro, it's a free paid dinner.
Yeah. Bro, not that they care about, bro, free paid dinner. What's money to them? But, bro, there's some, I think, see, and what Paul brings that up, bro, back then when Vettel, 7-8 years ago, he was dominating like crazy. Yeah. You never, F1 wasn't reality. There wasn't too much hatred. You never used to hear of stories. Mate, 2022, you hear more about, like,
The paddock.
The drama.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy how
But
much.
that all started from when Netflix decided to do
Correct.
Drive to Survive. And like I
More
said,
casual
it's
viewers.
the amount of people that brought on. And just with the digital era that we live in now, like I've noticed when it comes to opinions or it comes to sports or it comes to things or anything in life now, because of the way social media is, like people, you can't be in between. It's either you side one way hard or you side the other way hard. So it's
can't
either
sit in
you're
the middle.
pro Max, everything Hamilton does is wrong, or you're pro Hamilton and everything Hamilton does is wrong. Whereas it's hard for people to sit down and go, look, as much as I love or hate Max, he's still a good fucking driver. You can't deny the talent. Like, take his personality out of it and look at what he does on the racetrack.
Verstappen.
Yeah, like
Mate, what is...
that's what I'm trying to say. Like, it's you got to swing one way, and the world isn't really. The world doesn't work like it. The world's grey. It's not black and white where you go one way, you go the other. The world's actually fucking grey with everything that we do. Like, it's not 100%. You've got to side one way, stick with it till the end. Like,
Unless it's soccer.
Not
even
even,
then,
not
bro.
even,
It's
man.
still
Anything.
opinions.
This applies to anything in life. I'm not
Yeah,
like I'm
exactly.
talking about F1, but I'm talking about anything in life in general. Like it's not. You don't have to side one way or side one.
Mate, you
the
fucking
other.
hate every team but Manchester United.
I
bro.
do,
Yeah.
I do. But that's my love for Man United.
Yeah.
But if you ask me to sit down and honestly actually start speaking about other teams and take my emotion out of it,
Yeah, it's when I think because you get real sort of emotional about
yeah,
Man United.
I get
yeah.
emotional about that, and I understand that's probably the one thing when I speak about team, it's black and white to me. Like everyone else is fucking.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say everyone else is shit, but for me, everyone else in my eyes is shit.
Yeah, you got no passion.
Yeah, I got no time for anyone else besides my
So
team.
I'm the complete opposite. It's weird. Like, not up. I'm not going to say this because people are going to quote me. He used to go for Parramatta, but bro, when Jared Hayne was playing for Parramatta Eels,
You traitor.
bro, like this is what I'm trying to. I love like particular, like even now, like watching Haaland play people
stars.
like Messi, mate. I love see and I appreciate. That's why I love sports so much. That's why people tell me, bro, you're across like 50 sports. I'm literally the biggest sports tragic I've ever fucking met. I appreciate talent so much because, man, I break it down to see how much training, food,
Dedication.
what this guy, I love that about sport.
Yep.
The actual, bro, what is football? You're fucking kicking what's it made
ball.
from? Sheepskin, whatever the fuck it's
Yeah,
made
or
from,
you're passing
into a
around
goal.
a
Who cares, bro?
fucking-
That, I love the physical contact of sport. I love the mental games, but I love the dedication. Mate, I'm the biggest sports biography tragic in the world ever. I love knowing how people got to, because there was
journey.
a point in time, and I'm not downplaying us, but there was times where these people were normal human beings like us.
Exactly, but you gotta think,
you're
Brother,
downplaying
and they
nothing, bro.
imagine how hard they fucking hustled to get to where they are. And
Think
And they
about
came
it.
from worse situations
Oh,
compared to what we grew up
mate,
with.
like
Like you're
it's-
not downplaying nothing. It's the truth.
Do you know what I
they're
mean,
masters
bro?
of
And
just
they-
art,
and
let's be
just with
honest,
that,
man.
like think about it, like everyone you meet in the walk of life, 90% of the time, we've all played some sport at some
Yeah.
level
Bro.
when we're kids. Because when you're a kid and you're with your parents or when your parents are raising you up, eventually it gets to a point where it's like, all right, we need to find you some extracurricular activities for you to do. And you might go and do sports which the kids you're growing up with go play. So they all decide they want to play footy. You go play footy with them. You go play soccer with them, etc., etc., etc. Right?
Even in school,
So that's when you gotta understand that, like, yes, we might have all loved the sport, but it takes a special type of human being to go, I love it to the point where I'm pretty much going to give up my life so that I can be successful in this. Like, the reason why some of us, or most of us, I'd say, aren't playing high-level sports is, yes, there is a talent gap there, but there's also a mindset gap there. Like,
biggest mindset
you
gap.
know, like, I know personally, bro, when I was playing sport, I've never played at a high level, but I fucking hated training, you know? Whereas there's people who, as much as they hated training, they'd go train after they left training.
Yeah.
And then they'll train in the morning. Then they'll train again in the afternoon and then train at night, you know? And that's what gets them to where they are. So,
Do you know what I also think it is? I think there's a big risk where when you're a kid, you want results now.
Definitely.
For me,
Big
for
time.
example, like I'm pretty talented playing rugby league growing up, and I don't think if I pursue, mate, I reckon if I pursued it 100% like all these footy players did, nothing made them different. I was very aggressive, played reps, played, you know, for my school, played club, made train on squads for clubs and stuff. But you know what it was? I'm like, fuck, I'm not going to be able to have a full-time job. I'm not going to be able to go to uni. What? Like, what do you
That's
mean?
the
No,
difference in mindset.
I'm the sort of person where I need to know. I'm pretty
you got
spontaneous.
a security blanket.
I'm spontaneous when it comes to females, but
Hey.
but I sort of need to plan. And I remember being in year 10 and my dad sat me down. He's like, you've broken your arm, you've broken your leg. And I was playing pretty high up AFL, was getting taken to Melbourne for AFL. And I was playing league pretty high. He goes, do you want a good HSC or do you want to, and it sort of resonated because my parents are the same. It's either you have a path where you're going to make some money, you're going to live, or you sort of got to give it all up and pursue that dream. Because you got to go 100% into that dream. You can't be working a full-time
Half-assed,
job. You can't be fucking doing full-time uni, bro. No way. No. And for example, like I know I went to uni with Sean Lane. Mate, that bloke, and I won't quote it, but fuck, he nearly failed every subject because he was only doing uni back then. I know now he's done a psychology degree after speaking to him at Coogee. But back then, mate, he was failing physiotherapy. Bro, he needed to... Mate, he was playing train on for the dogs. So I think he was just trying to tick a box. But that was sort of like a pretty close example where I started to agree. I'm like, bro, fuck, you can't. It's too hard to do,
You can't stay
bro.
on the fence.
Nah, bro, you need to give up that work. You need to give up going out. You need to maybe just work a part-time job. But you need to be so passionate and you reap the rewards now, bro. Look how good Sean Lane was, one of the best forwards this year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
I personally experienced a lot of
big
that.
admiration to, and this is why we probably do it and why we follow them so much, because we fucking love the dedication that and what they give up to be able to call themselves sports
That's
people.
an interesting point to make. Do you think most people watch sport because they and be like, it's like, oh, bro, like you work so hard to be there? Is it they just like it because of what it gives?
It's
them?
entertainment.
The tackles.
It's
Like,
entertainment.
not everyone watches it from that perspective.
It's not.
There's two views. I think me and Suey, and I use as an example, I never used to understand why Suey used to like what they wear and how they speak and the drip that he talks about. Now it makes them who they are, bro. These big drip, mate, they're doing big drip tricks on the field and that, and it's in their personality. So it sort of it starts to make, but it's true, makes sense. So I think knowing what they do outside of football, for me, it's an attraction, 100%. And I think me and Suey are pretty big on that sort of thing. Like, Suey's
follow the
very
character,
big on
you know?
that. Yeah.
Whereas you got the flip side where me couldn't give a fuck what
Yeah.
they do. Like I judge you on your sporting
Yeah.
ability. I've always said I don't care if you're a shit human being or a good human being. I care about what you do on on the field and what you do on the pitch. Bro, you could be the nicest person, paying for people's dinners, this, that. Couldn't care less, right? If you're not scoring goals, you're not doing your job on the field. But if you're doing your job on the field very well, then sweet. Like, that's what I want to watch, because I understand that to be able to do what you do, it's fucking unbelievable.
Yeah.
And like, it's like I think soccer is one of those sports where we underrate players' skills.
Oh man,
Massively.
Oh
massively.
man.
Like, we watch probably soccer players play. I think she's kicking a ball, bro. Like, how hard is it? Like,
Especially
bro,
the
it's crossing
APL, because they're all on such a good standard.
Thank you very much. It's like they've set a different standard compared to everyone else. Like, do you know how hard it is to first touch, bro? Like, I played football. You know how hard that shit is, bro?
Bro, my first
Even the
touch is
pass
still
from here
dodgy,
to
bro.
there. Bro, I got the-
My first touch is still dodgy,
terrible.
bro. Like, you know what, bro? Yeah, I can probably pass the ball 40 yards, but I can do it under no pressure. You put two people running towards me,
Thank you very much.
all of a sudden that skill set that I had when I had no pressure, I had time to literally think, all right, Arnold's over there, I want to kick the ball over there. It goes
Calculate.
like that, and that's what I appreciate. I
I let my
appreciate
guy
more.
make a mistake.
Huh?
But I let my guy make a mistake like that.
Yeah,
Hit him up.
exactly. I'm on him.
Boom, on him
I'm
straight
on him,
away.
I'm on him.
Maguire
Yeah.
out.
I'm agreeing with
But
you.
then
guaranteed.
again, it's one of those things where, as much as I enjoy the technical side of the game, it's still entertainment.
Guaranteed.
For us blokes, or generally males, we tend to like things and objects, and that's why we're a lot more engaged with sport as opposed to in the traditional light, like where females are more engaged with like
Yeah.
entertainment, people. That's why they're a lot more into social media, movies, actresses, actors, what they do outside of life. And I think that sort of culture slowly evolving and coming into the game, where we're growing up in a world where boys are actually interested in the outside life of sportsmen. And I think that comes down to
I'm
social
interested
media.
in the wags. I'm interested in their partners. There. Mate, there was a cracker article the other day. Like, have you seen Grealish's partner?
Nah.
Nah,
Brother.
don't, please don't. I
Big
knew,
drip.
bro, that boy is a pretty boy. And I know for a fact his partner is.
You know
something else.
what? I can.
Hey,
Grealish.
wait. The dude from Aston Villa, Douglas Costa, his partner plays. Is that his name? Please, someone got that. Douglas Luiz. Have you
His
seen his
missus.
partner?
Yeah,
She
I
also
think
plays for
Lehman
Villa.
or whatever. Last,
Lord.
I can't remember first name.
Yeah.
But like,
Sorry, boys. I'm
there's
always,
also-
no, that's all right.
I'm always
Grealish-
bringing this sinful stuff
No,
here.
no.
on the podcast.
Well, what's she like?
All of Suey's uncles are probably cursing me, bro.
What's she like?
Mate. Exactly what you're imagining. Just imagine what.
He's
just
in
picture.
himself.
But you know what? With Grealish, he strikes me is like a guy who's got a bit of chat as well.
Oh yeah, come on,
it's not
bro.
just-
Bro, I ain't ever
Come on,
bringing my partner to a party that Grealish is at, because best
even
you
my
know,
mother, bro.
she's fucking not going home.
I look at
Mother,
like
bro.
Foden, for example, and I just think Foden, you're probably just getting by on the football
Yeah,
thing. But
dead-
I feel
dead
like
conversation.
Grealish actually can hold his own.
Yeah.
He's got a bit of chat, his cheek, he's got banter, and on top of that, he brings the football side, he brings the culture
He
and all of
nearly
that.
tuned. What's his name? Roy Keane, bro. Roy Keane hated him for a very long time. Now he's like, nah, he's alright. He's a decent bloke. Grealish.
But you know what it is? See, again, it's perfect to what you said. A lot of these old school, they don't like what this new school is bringing.
Nah, they don't.
Because their life was football, and whatever they did outside of football, it remained in the circle.
Because there was no social media.
it
bro.
remained in the circle.
That's exactly why.
Whereas
Social media
now,
kind of gave
players-
us that insight into their
Exactly.
lives.
What it is now players are brands as much as they're footballers. So
That
it's
is
not
true.
just
True.
It's not you're just a footballer. Yes, you play ball good, but what's your social media
Your
game
name
look
is
like?
a brand.
What do you wear? Like
Because
Who
after
you
the sport's
sponsoring?
wrapped up, that's what your income is too.
Exactly.
It's
So-
probably a perfect. Look how good I am at podcasts. It's probably a perfect way to delve into the Ronaldo
I was
by
about- I've been
comparing
trying. I've been waiting.
by comparing Rooney and Ronaldo. Look at Rooney and look at Ronaldo. The
Longevity.
two most. No, don't worry about the. Oh, yeah, the longevity. But look at the two most polar opposites. They both did bits, mate. There's people that I know
my
that will
God.
swear by Rooney over Ronaldo any day of the week of what he did to United. But look at him. Image, persona, who they are outside of football, bro. Chalk and cheese.
Chalk and cheese.
Chalk and cheese. CR7, both same age. CR7 has not one wrinkle. Cares so much about how
I'm
he
sure
speaks,
Ronnie's even
his
slightly
image.
older as well.
And then look at, but they both did bits on the football field, which you care about. But it's perfect to what we're talking about. One is so old school, and one is the most new school sort of image you can ever see.
Exactly, which brings us into a topic we couldn't cover last
Mate.
week because
Brother, I can't wait to stir this pot.
unfortunately, we filmed the podcast on Sunday and the interviews. Well, the first snippets of the interview fell out on Monday, so we'd already filmed. And obviously Wednesday, Thursday, or when you're here Thursday, Friday, the interviews, the full length kind of dropped. Now myself,
Did they drop
Adam,
last week?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we didn't do Wednesday,
Yeah.
correct. Yeah.
So Adam and myself have seen the interview. I kind of still sit on the fence, even as a United
Arnold,
fan.
you've seen bits of it. You sort of get the gist.
I will be very, very honest. I could not care less about Ronaldo and anything that he's done. I just know that he's a good person. Bro, have you seen what he's done? Let's be honest. As a human, just in himself, what he's done for himself, his family. I couldn't care less what everyone else
This
says
community,
about it, man.
yeah.
He's done it all. Like,
Ah,
why
okay.
should we care?
But do you
Look
know-
at
do you know
accolades.
his
I know what's
story?
going on. I know what's going
But I'm
on.
saying, no, do you know his story? Like, what makes you say that he's done so much? You've obviously followed him prior to the interview.
He came from Lisbon, right?
Okay.
Or Portugal, whatever. He had no teeth at one point. He worked that hard, bro. Went into United, went to Real Madrid, came back to United. Like, look at the person. Look what he's done.
Yeah,
6,
okay.
7 Champions
Yeah, yeah.
Leagues, whatever you want to call it.
So you're sort of the person where you don't need to follow his
Nah,
fluff.
nah.
You've got your persona of
I've
him
got my
in your
persona.
head.
It's done. It's finished. Like him and Messi.
Yeah.
He's
It's
got
just
Ballon
it.
d'Ors.
It's there. It's there.
He's a good person.
Yeah,
in my eyes.
okay.
Could not care less what the media tries to be painting.
And even with that, like for me, for example, I don't really follow any sports people on social media. Like none. Like again, it goes back.
I personally don't.
I
Yeah,
know.
neither.
But it's more so I don't give a fuck what they do outside their life. Why do I care about what you do outside of your life? It's you've got a life to live. It's more so about what you do. And now with the Ronaldo interview that we're about to go into, it's more so about why he did the interview. What do you think about the interview? That's kind of what I wanted to dive into.
Unpack it. Get into it. Unpack
So I'll get you to. Adam said he had a lot to say. I'll get Adam.
I
to
sort of
start.
just said before, I don't really follow people's stories. I do, but to be honest, like other athletes, I've never really followed Ronaldo and Messi that much. I think because their football tells you so much about them that I have never really followed them outside of the pitch too much. I have obviously sort of, here and there, but let's take Messi out of it. I don't think anything needs to be talked about Messi. I think this is more so about Ronaldo.
Yeah, this is a Ronaldo segment.
Watching the snippets, I knew that they were obviously cutting him short, creating Again, all right, so my sort of view on Ronaldo from the beginning is I've always liked the underdog. I like people that are cocky, but they need to be cocky in a certain way. Like, for example, love Anthony Mundine. I used to love Justin Hodges in Origin. But for some reason, I can't lie, I think it's because I don't really like United, but I've always had a bit of chip on Ronaldo's shoulder. I've heard people say things about, organisations he follows and who he donates to. So I think I had a premeditated sort of thing. And because I'm a bit of a Messi fan, I have him a bit over Ronaldo. So just sort of putting you into the stance of where I sort of went into this interview. And fuck, he changed my idea of him. Mate, I don't care if he was lying or not. He's got the balls to say things how they are. He has the balls.
But with that being said, I want to just put a disclaimer on that. Him, Messi, and probably one other footballer, the only people with the caliber of status in the game to be able to do an interview like that.
Yeah.
Like
mate, he made the world stop.
Yeah,
Okay.
like if you want, think about it. Like which other footballer? Let me.
No,
put
I'm
on
trying
this-
to think. Like, who else would you put on
let's
that?
say let's say Harry.
Ronaldinho,
Let's say
maybe?
Harry. Not even. Let's say Harry Maguire.
Oh, no,
right,
done.
came out and did an
GG,
interview
bro.
like that. All right,
No,
let's
no.
get out of
GG,
United.
bro.
Let's say someone like Zlatan came out and did an interview like that. People would listen to Zlatan.
It wouldn't be as big as Ronaldo or
Exactly.
Messi. Me personally, I don't think so. But okay, anyway, sort of started to watch it first. The first sort of part was a little bit, I didn't get all the juicy stuff out. Again, you probably guys got to realize why I was so excited for the interview. I think Arnold, you don't know me that well, but the boys know I am the biggest fucking shit stirrer. I love fucking drama. I don't like being involved in it, but I like putting a seed. So I feel like there was so much fucking drama. I couldn't wait to watch it. So part 1, I was a little bit like, wasn't that great. Part 2, fuck, he was not scared to fucking diss Ole. He wasn't scared to diss fucking anybody. You know what? And it sort of made me cringe, like the way he sort of spoke about Rooney. He's like, oh, because I'm better looking than him and whatnot. Blah. But again, I left that interview and I'm like, what? This cunt is just saying, I shouldn't be saying that word, but this bloke is just fucking saying it how it is. Not scared to mince his words, which I liked, sort of thing. But what I took out of it, as much as I love Piers Morgan, I wish someone else did the fucking interview.
1000%.
Mate, that bloke wasn't even asking him questions. That bloke, obviously, 100%, 1000%, there was obviously an agenda that had to follow.
Yeah, of course.
Like, mate, we're doing a podcast in the backyard and we have an agenda. So imagine, mate, every word they had was premeditated. I can't imagine how many things Ronaldo said, don't put in it, make sure you put... Like, he would have had a big say.
Guaranteed.
Like, he's got a big...
Guaranteed.
Mate, he got like 4 or 5 million views in like a couple of days. Like, he was huge. It was almost as big
200
as...
people when I watched it live on Friday morning. It was 200,000 people watching it with me.
Yeah, live.
Yeah,
on the
live.
YouTube.
Live as it was going. So...
But yeah, like, mate, I left it liking the bloke. I don't want him to go back to United. I don't feel like they deserve him. I reckon, mark my words, he signs on a loan. I don't know how these loans logistics works. Can he go sign with another Premier League side straight away?
He's going to have his contract terminated.
Okay, but then can he go sign with someone in the Premier League?
Depends how the contract's terminated.
Okay.
And what window it's in as well.
I reckon what he'll do is he's going to make Newcastle reach the top 4.
Nah, I don't think you're going anywhere near Newcastle.
No?
Nah.
Do you know who might take
You don't
him,
think
bro?
so? Don't you reckon that makes sense?
Chelsea, bro.
Do you know why I don't
On
think...
some WWE.
You know,
shit,
I'll tell you
honestly,
exactly what... And I was going to say Chelsea. The rumours are Real Madrid as well. But the reason why I say... The reason why Benzema's injured. So the reason why I say...
Mate, he should have never fucking left Real Madrid to begin with.
Yeah,
eh?
but-
We all agree on that?
Yeah, but you know what it was? It was kind of for him. Real Madrid was, I've done everything I want. And I feel he felt disrespected Real Madrid because he was getting booed towards the end.
Because he was too good, or what was
No,
it?
because he wasn't... I wouldn't say he wasn't performing, but there was games that have down games. I remember Ronaldo go booed in a game. He couldn't even believe it.
He's like,
Like, he's like, bro, these are my own fans, bro.
doing
Like,
this to
I'm
me?
getting booed.
But
So-
it's got that a bit about him, eh? Like, I've done so much for the... That's what I don't like about him a bit, eh? But he has.
But in that regard, other than Messi, who's done what he's done for what he's... For
No
how
one,
long
no
he's
one,
done
no
it?
one, no one.
So
yeah.
I can get why Ronnie's got that approach. But the reason why I say Chelsea, or the reason why I say not Newcastle, is if you're a manager like Eddie Howe, and I'm going to apply this to Graham Potter, you do not want that personality in your dressing room. You do not want that personality. What if he goes to Newcastle, or what if he goes to Chelsea, is not starting? Because at the end of the day, this issue...
Is that what the issue is?
Majority of this issue, because I flip it like this, Ronaldo could have done this interview last year. Because a lot of the stuff he mentioned
Nah,
about...
bro. Wasn't he playing cracker last year?
No. That's my point.
because he was starting last
He
year.
was starting, was
I know,
playing.
though.
He was getting game after game after game.
Yeah, of course he's
All-
going to do the
yeah.
interview when...
All the things he's complained about, the facilities, they haven't changed in a year.
Yeah.
The club being mismanaged hasn't changed in a year.
Fuck, I didn't think of it like that.
I've been fucking... Remember the first 5 weeks of this episode, I was ripping into the Gazers? That hasn't changed.
You know
It's
what?
been-
You're right.
It's been there before Ronaldo came back. It's still there now.
He just wants to start.
Exactly. So a majority of this issue, and I get why he wants to start. The guy's 37. He'll be 38 in February. So he's probably sitting there going, he even said in the interview, I want to retire at 40. So that really gives him realistically 2 years left in the game. He wants to be playing every minute he wants to be playing. And he's not getting that right now. And when he says he's disrespected, me personally, I don't feel like Ronaldo's been disrespected. But again, it's perception, right? It's how he perceived he's been treated. So from an outside looking in with one version of the story, I look at it and go, you haven't been disrespected. And this is me having my United cap on and going, you're a player of the team, you do as the manager says. But again, Ronaldo's argument is, I've got this status in the game and I'm better than anyone else ever, that I deserve special treatment. And again, I wouldn't object to that. He's done enough to actually deserve that special treatment. So I get why Ronnie did the interview. I'm not saying it's right, but when I look at Ronaldo from my personal perspective as a United fan, I look at it and go, look, man, he did the interview because he wants to go and wants to leave the club, and doing this interview guarantees him that. Like, from the stories.
Fuck, he dissed United
Yeah,
bad.
he dissed us, yeah, bad. But
Yeah, actually, I've never
If
seen.
you-
Has there been any other interview that sort of sticks out to you that
Yeah.
a player?
so Roy Keane did the same thing. We never saw the interview because it got pulled down before in life. Roy Keane was sacked, and that's how he left the club. So
Because of an interview that he did,
So
but
he
it never
did.
aired.
So he did an interview on MUTV, which is like in-house United TV sort of channel. He dissed pretty much the players of the infrastructure. Said this team's shit, blah blah blah. He went along those lines, but I don't know what he said specifically because I've never seen the interview. But he went down that road, and Fergie was like, "Nah, this guy's got to
You
go."
know, I've always wondered why he never retired at United. It made no sense.
Right,
Now
Kane-
that makes sense.
yeah,
Yeah,
Kane
'cause
got-
it sounds like he's
Where did he retire?
Kane got kicked out of the club. He went to Celtic after that.
Celtic. Yeah,
Yeah.
Celtic.
So Kane got kicked out of the club
That makes
because
sense. I thought it was his attitude. You know, he
No.
was going back and forth.
His
Oh,
attitude was loved at that club. Kano went off. He went off. The guy was a hot. Kane was a
Mate,
type.
Mate, some of the footage
Yes.
I've seen of him.
And he was a type of player.
Bruh.
Kane was a type of player who, if the team lost, he'd go out and he'd slag his teammates in an interview
Fucking
after.
oath.
Like he had no filter like that, you know. And when he was at the peak of his game, Fergie could put up with it because Fergie was like that to a certain degree.
Yep.
Whereas
Twins.
you know, he is me on the field. That's what Fergie was trying to do. So I get what Ronaldo did. I get why he did the interview. But there's a flip side where you go, if you take out what he said about Ten Hag out of that interview, I look at it as a United fan, I go, the interview's not that bad. If you take out the Ten Hag stuff.
Yeah.
It's when he goes off at Ten Hag, a new manager who's trying to rebuild a team. You can't speak about your manager like that. I couldn't do that at work. Even if I was off angry at my boss, I couldn't do that shit and expect to have a job.
No way.
And
No,
none
it
of
makes
you
no sense.
here could expect to have a job if you slagged off, not even the company, your management, the way Ronnie did.
No way.
So Ronnie, this was a power play from Ronnie to say,
Mo.
I want out of the club, and I'm getting out of the club.
Next to.
And ultimately, like, I need to get out of the club. I get why Ronnie did it. And from a United fan, like, it's bittersweet. It sucks because this is someone who probably gave me some of my best moments. Like, off the top of my head, I can rattle moment after moment, which I watched Ronaldo. Like, there's that goal against Porto. There was a fucking Champions League semi-final. I remember this game specifically. We're versing Arsenal at the Emirates. It banged a free kick from 41 yards out. Remember the commentator, he literally goes, it's just too far even for Ronaldo to think about it. The guy put a bottom corner. I remember going to school and going to my mate who's a big Arsenal supporter and saying, eat that.
Yeah.
Fucking eat that.
He has, bro. He's been
You
one
know?
of the most memorable. Like,
So- and with that being said, like, time heals all wounds. And that's what I'm trying to say. So right now, you can be bittersweet about it. But like when you look at back in 10 years, I'm not going to remember too much of this. And I know
that's why he
that
needs
for
to
sure.
stop it now. That's why I think this is actually a good thing.
Exactly.
He's done the interview, whatever. Move on. Have it part ways, whatever. Have a
My
good
question
couple of
is,
years.
I then sit there and think, why in the first place? Whilst you're still there, unless you're saying that I want to get out,
That's what
you
he's
guys
saying.
don't want to
Yeah,
sell
yeah,
me.
that's what he's
so
saying.
I would just come out and say, hey, blah
Okay.
blah blah blah, get me
So
out.
to give you clarity, I don't really know what the truth is. Somewhere in the middle of what I'm going to say, because you got Ronaldo's version,
Yeah.
and you got the version of what was in the media. And look, I always like to
I
say,
don't follow the media.
yeah, I always like to say, big Fabrizio doesn't lie. So
Oh yeah.
right, so
Hey,
Fabrizio
hey.
Romano was saying that in the summer that Ronaldo put in a transfer request, he wanted to leave,
did.
and then the story was that when clubs approached Ronaldo, United wanted clubs to pay a transfer fee, and most clubs are saying we don't want to pay for a transfer fee and then take someone on half a million pounds a week. Like that is financially that is not viable and does not make sense.
But that they're the biggest wages anyone
It's the highest wage in the Premier League.
wage.
Like that's how much you work.
Is he on the highest
Yeah,
wage?
yeah.
More than Haaland?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
It's not half a mil a week, bro.
Okay.
It was
They're
half a
paying,
mil a
they're
week.
paying based for status.
Right? So
That's pounds, by the way, so it's $1 million Australian.
Maybe a bit more.
maybe
Just
even a bit more. So
Wow.
with that being said, like you look at it and you go, I can understand why Ronnie's dug his heels in because he's getting to the January transfer window. He's thinking to himself, well, what if that happens again? I need to eliminate that scenario out of the equation. So if I go out and said, do this interview and I slag the team off and slag the manager off, then I get an exit strategy out. But then you think about it and you look at the other side and go, if he doesn't slag Ten Hag off and he only slags the club, he might still be kept to the club because Ten Hag might say, well, he didn't have a go at me. He didn't really have a go at his teammates. He indirectly did, but not directly addressed his teammates.
See what he said about his teammates, like all these new young ones?
Yeah.
Mate,
But then
you shouldn't be saying that.
But then again, he makes a point. He said at all clubs. He just said not just
Yeah,
Manchester
yeah,
United.
I
He said the
agree.
new, you younger
youth.
players, they don't listen. But I listened to Gary Neville's response to that, and Gary Neville made a good point when he goes, look, you know what, bro? When I was coming through, the older heads were saying that about me.
Of course.
And when Ronaldo's generation was coming through, I was saying that about that generation.
And then the next generation is going to
We'll
say,
the same thing about us.
bro.
Like, think about us now when we look at
That's
kids
just
who are
life.
younger than us, they're like 17, 18. We all look at it and go,
Mate, we put our adult.
Come on,
brother,
like,
this
what are you
generation.
doing, you
this-
idiot.
yeah.
Bro, when I was that age, you could not tell me. I thought I was a god, bro, moving on this earth. You can't tell me
Exactly.
nothing.
So,
it's true.
It was
when you
terrible.
provide context like that, it's always going to happen. Every generation before thinks they know better than the next generation and so forth. It's the circle of life. You know, it's going to happen like that. So with the Ronnie thing, yeah, the interview was shit. Was it disrespectful to a certain degree? Yes. Was Ronnie disrespected? In my opinion, no. But from a personal perception point of view, I think he feels like he was disrespected. And at the end of the day, that's the situation.
Everyone has different morals, correct?
Exactly, because if I was at work, I could have a manager who I think's disrespecting me, but the rest of my team loves.
Facts.
What's going to happen? That's my perception of
Do
how
you-
I'm being treated by the manager.
Do you think that there's also an element of he wants to finish his career on a good note, and right now he's just not having that?
But
Because
that's-
think about a big long career like that, right?
Yeah, of
And
course.
I was
And
gonna
then
touch on
for the
that.
last 2 years of that career
Yeah.
to be shocking and bad. You will
Ah,
remember
mate,
those.
nah,
2
he hasn't
years.
been showing bad for
Look-
2 years. Last season he was good. I think
Yeah.
he's just
No,
had a shit 6
forward
months.
And
2
the
years,
thing,
but-
and the thing is,
Oh, another 2 years.
Another 2 years.
yeah.
Imagine how bad
Yeah.
these 2 years.
It'll
would be.
never start, yeah. But
So
that one,
I
yeah,
understand
exactly.
that, but
Agreed,
with that
yeah.
being said, I think Ronaldo's
100%.
fighting a battle that everyone loses in life, and that battle's called Father Time.
Oh, you can't defeat
Eventually-
him. You can never
eventually-
defeat him. He catches
Right,
up.
like eventually, Father Time's gonna catch all of us, cuz. Right now, I go in the gym, I bench press 130, I feel like a fucking god. But there's gonna come a point in my life when I try stack 130 on a bar, and I'm not gonna be able to push it up.
That's when you
just-
call me and I start jabbing you. guys.
You know, there's certain movements that we
Yeah.
can't do now. Like
Yeah.
a recovery for
Yeah,
us in any
exactly.
situation.
That's
Bro, like my
Takes
knee, bro. You guys
forever.
probably hear me sucking about my knee, bro.
I can't even bend over to fucking put my shoes on, bro.
That's what I mean.
Bro,
So-
I've broken an arm before, and I swear I didn't even want to go to hospital. I'm not even kidding. Now, bro, my knee's the smallest little bit of fluid around it. But I've been chucking the biggest tantrums. I'm starting to wake up an hour early to stretch. But that's life,
what
bro.
I mean.
That's life.
And
That's,
I think-
brother, that's life.
Exactly.
You gotta accept it, bro. You gotta accept it.
A
And with
year
that
ago.
being said, I think Ronnie's mentality is not allowing him to accept that. So he needs
Stop
to
sharing shit on Facebook, Suey. Suey shares like 40 things a day, eh? I love him, but every notification, I get excited. I think a bird's messaged me. Suey Ajibehs shared the Australian Muslim post. Brother, stop fucking tricking me into looking at my phone, bro.
Yeah, that's right. But with Ronnie, like he's just fighting Father Time, and unfortunately, I think his mentality is far greater than what his body can do at this stage in his career. So I'm not going to write Ronnie off and say he's done. I wouldn't be surprised if he has a good World Cup.
I don't agree with you, but about
would-
his body, bro. He is so fit, it's
No,
fucked.
Yes,
But
you know
he's
what?
fit-
Fit, yeah, but recovery
but
time.
he's-
Nah, but don't you
No,
reckon
no,
he
no,
can still
no,
join?
no, no, no.
Can you see a
But
difference?
I think he's fit to the certain, like he's working harder to stay as fit as someone who's 10 years younger than him, 15 years
Yeah,
younger
but
than him.
kudos to him to work that hard, though.
I understand that, but eventually it's going to catch up. So he's working that hard just to keep up. Whereas before he was working that hard and he was exceeding everyone else. Whereas that gap where he had is now like that. It's not
narrowing down.
It's not he has a gap on everyone. He's now on par with everyone. And when you say, "Can I see that, bro?" I've seen United put through balls for Ronnie, and fucking 5 years ago, that guy would burn anyone to get to that ball. Nowadays, I see him struggling to get to that ball.
That's a solid point.
It's
the
not
gap. The
yeah,
gap.
it's
Can you
not-
actually see it?
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
not-
follow him that
gap,
closely.
the gap that
Yeah.
he just mentioned makes so much sense because as a youth, right, you don't actually have to work that hard to remain fit, bro. I remember I never had I had no issue. Then as you get older, it makes so much sense because you've
That's
got
because
to
we're chain smokers, cuz.
no, but you got to work like 4 times as hard to
Yeah.
remain
No, I
on par
agree.
with the youth, and it makes so much sense.
It's not that he's finished or it's done or he's not working hard. Yes, his body looks that good because he still eats good. He's got good nutrition, trains hard, and does all of that. Bro, the guy's probably in a fucking deficit 90% of the year, right? So it's not that he's not working hard.
I'm in a
enough.
deficit 9% of the year. Look how I look, cuz. 80.
It's just it's time is catching up with him, and
trying to fight
unfortunately, I
nature,
don't think
bro.
he's accepting that.
He's
And
trying to fight nature, wear and tear, bro.
exactly.
It
and
happens.
his mentality is not allowing him to go, bro. Maybe my body isn't as.
Would you
what
say he's
it
in
was."
denial?
Nah,
think
you know
he's
what
in
it
denial.
is? I think it's also very. Let's be honest, man. Like, put any of us in Ronaldo's shoes. There's an ego that comes with
Exactly.
with
big
all that
time.
success.
I always talk about this ego, and these boys
The
never understand
ego
it.
Bro, I got an ego
comes-
now
that
and I've got no
comes with
success.
that.
Yeah.
So for him right now, it's oh my god, I am Ronaldo, and it's
Yeah.
not working for
Bro,
me.
it's like I'll give you the best
work.
example, bro. It's like when like if you've ever played five-a-side soccer, if you've ever played Oztag, have you ever seen the older heads who are like in their 30s, mid-30s, right? And you see them on the ball, they'll pull out some fancy trick pass or they got something and you go, bro, this guy can play. But then when you step past that bloke and you put the burners on, you've left that guy for dead.
Gone.
Right? So he's still got the skills, but his body doesn't have
keep up.
Doesn't have the ability to execute the skills the way he did. So you see him on the ball. You see Ronaldo strike a ball. He can still bin goals. He can still score goals. But the difference now is Ronaldo's not as quick to where he used to start offside, come back and get back onside. He can't do that as quickly as he could. Right?
Anyway, I reckon that's enough airtime for Ronaldo because we know
that's a good takeaway.
We know Messi's a goat, and there's no sort of this one's for you, Suey, and fuck you, Mems. We know Messi's the goat, mate. So that's enough airtime for Ronaldo.
So look, with that being said, I'm gonna bring the World Cup in. I want to talk about the World Cup, but
that's all we got. World Cup. We're gonna touch a little bit on the Rugby League World Cup, which was my biggest flop of the.
That's okay.
And then fraud of the week. So,
but just before we get into that, I wanted to kind of do the World Cup and the Ronaldo segment together. And a question I thought about this literally during the week because I saw a post where Bruno was saying he's over all the chat about Ronaldo, and it got me thinking.
I've seen that interview.
Right? It got me thinking, is this whole Ronaldo doing this interview? Yes, for United, it doesn't affect us, but could this be a distraction to Portugal? And is this going to affect Portugal in the World Cup? Or is this a master play from Ronaldo whereby he's taken all the attention off Portugal and it's on him and the team can just go play?
Nah. Nah. Bruno came out and, sorry to cut you off. Bruno came out and said, since I think it was 2016 or whatever year, the coaches said to Ronaldo specifically, Ronaldo, it's about Portugal, not Ronaldo. And he kept saying that interview, it's not about Ronaldo, it's about the team. It's not about Ronaldo, it's about the team. It's not about Ronaldo, not about the team. He was a good one to speak to because obviously his teammates with him at United. Brother, we just need to move past Ronaldo. We need to just enjoy. I don't even like that question's there because it shouldn't even be there.
But it is a question.
Yeah, I know. It shouldn't even be about Ronaldo.
But
mate, I know, but it's that's what I'm saying. That's what's the shit thing. That's why I think it's for me personally. I think it's a negative for Portugal.
Yeah.
But my question is, did everyone else look at Portugal and think Ronaldo is going to save them again? Like, you know what? A lot of Ronaldo fans did.
I didn't look at it like that.
They got a well-rounded team.
They've got a very good team.
Yeah, but I never.
I'm just saying, it's all this media circus that comes.
From an outsider's perspective, I wouldn't say it's a negative just for Portugal. I'd say it's a negative for the whole sport, bro. Because all of the people that work their asses off and they're in the middle ground, they're going to get left behind in the shadow of that. I reckon it should be about the team. It shouldn't be about the player.
Yeah. Agreed.
Do you know what I mean? Just from an outsider, because obviously I'm not into the sport as much as you guys, but from where I see it, I feel like the whole team should have glory, not just one player. Yeah, but if you put Ronaldo by himself against 11 players, it's not going to happen. He needs his team. And I feel like that from my perspective, that's not supposed to be like that. You can have that ego within yourself, I've done well, but you shouldn't have the ego that you're bigger than the club. I don't think anyone should.
And now he's saying he's bigger than the country.
that's rude, bro.
You know what I mean?
He's not saying it.
He's not saying it, but that's how it's coming out.
It's just by the end of this group stage, that question will be answered.
You know what he needs to do? He needs to have, and I hope for the love of football, him and Messi have the biggest World Cup. So I was speaking to my cousin today. I said, brother, is it possible? Are they in the same group? They can.
Not in the same group, but
they
can meet.
They can, bro. Can they meet in the final?
I don't know. I haven't looked at the whole.
Me neither, bro. Imagine that.
No, but if Ronaldo goes off and has the best World Cup ever, takes him to the finals, when he comes back out of that, his ego's already it's going to be...
He said he'll retire if he wins the World Cup with Portugal.
Nah, he won't retire. No, he won't retire.
Nah, he will.
He might just go kick it in Portugal, bro.
I'm not leaving.
Mate, imagine that. What a fucking final.
Exactly.
One of them has to be in it, bro, please.
And with that said, we're going to jump into the World Cup, guys.
Which one? The Rugby League?
No.
Oh, the World Cup. Okay.
Qatar.
That one can sit right next to the fraud of the week because it's a fucking fraud anyway, so...
Oh my God.
True, bro. I'm the biggest. Everyone knows, bro. I'm the biggest rugby league. Anyway, we'll go into it later.
Yeah. So the World Cup, we had the opening game yesterday, where Ecuador won 2-0 against the hosts, Qatar. Did you guys watch the game? If you didn't watch the game, did you watch the highlights? What were your thoughts on the game?
I watched the ceremony and I watched the game. That's why I've lacked a bit of sleep. Worked from home today. That ceremony was wow. Do me a favor. If you haven't watched the game, don't even watch it. Go watch that ceremony.
The game was dead.
What's the ceremony?
The opening ceremony for the World Cup, bruh.
Is it like a party sort of like a performance.
Same vibe as like Olympics, you know how the
Olympics,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But it had like that Middle Eastern touch, which I liked. They had
Culture.
Morgan Freeman make a speech.
What?
By the way, yeah,
Told you Morgan Freeman was there.
the
Morgan
speech,
Freeman did his
bro,
thing.
the speech that Morgan Freeman did was a story from the Quran, but he translated it into everyday sort of. Mate, it was ridiculous.
That's
Game was such a letdown, and I agree with the fans saying. So did Qatar qualify, or do they make it because it's in their country?
If you're a host, you automatically qualify.
Bruh, that was disgusting, that game.
Isn't that a bit
It
of
should have
a,
been
like-
3-0, that first offside.
Bro, I'm pretty sure like 10 of their starting players are waiting for put in Qatar.
Yeah, shit.
Something like
Wait,
that.
so if you're hosting it, you automatically qualify.
Correct,
Isn't
yeah.
that a bit like?
Nah.
Not really, but at least
You have to have
that's
the
the least they
host
can
in the
do.
competition.
That's the least they can do, brother.
Okay,
Accommodate them.
I might
Fuck,
be wrong.
you're harsh, bro.
I might be wrong, but like to
like,
me, it's
You
like
don't deserve it.
Think about
Bro,
it.
that's hard.
You're coming to our country, like we gotta be in there.
Again,
Okay.
I'm an outsider, so I
You're
don't
an
know.
outsider. Guess how much money Qatar spent on this World Cup?
5 bill,
Up.
more than 5 billion.
Keep going.
50 billion.
Keep going.
Nah, surely.
$220 billion.
And they play like shit.
And you, brother, and you're saying their country shouldn't even be in the fucking World
No,
Cup?
I didn't say be in the World Cup. I said like if you don't qualify, should you?
Nah, but the
automatically
least they
qualify?
can do.
Okay, fair enough. I'm wrong.
So
All
the,
good.
the next, this is me talking about the documentary I watched today. The next biggest was 18 bill
Okay.
in Russia. Sorry,
Wow,
15.
so they really demolished.
Brother, $220 billion.
It. Wow.
How insane is
Nah,
that?
you know
Saudi
what?
money is different, bro.
That's, yeah, big time, eh? Big time. That's the oil money.
Yeah,
bro.
all money.
Yeah,
What's
that's
gas money? I only figured that out about Qatar today. They live on the biggest equator line of the gas in the whole world.
Bigger than Dubai.
The biggest ever.
Wait, is Dubai? I don't know.
It's close. Like that, they're all,
bro.
but that's, bro, 20, 30 years ago, Qatar was desert, bro.
Wow.
Bro, I want you guys to watch this 30 minutes today. Well, you know what, bro? Can you also,
Put the
on top
link
of my
in the
finger
description,
here, can you put the link for these guys?
I don't know.
We'll put it in
about
the bio.
Yeah, I'll put it in the description.
Yeah.
I don't know how to work this shit yet. Just give me time.
Yeah, we'll put it in the bio.
Put it in the bio.
Yeah, no. So it's good. It's good to see. For me personally, I know there's a lot of criticism about Qatar hosting. I'm not going to get into it, but it's good to see a country that doesn't traditionally host a World Cup host a World Cup. Like I sit on that side of the fence because I saw Africa host a World Cup and fucking. I think we did all right.
Man, I was in Africa when that happened.
So was I, bro.
When the World
Yeah,
Cup
I was
was
there,
on.
bro. I was
like,
there,
I
bro.
wasn't at the World Cup, but I was.
'Cause I was in
Zimbabwe and
South Africa,
are right
yeah.
next to it. You went to South Africa, you probably had the best experience, but being in Zimbabwe, right next to it, it did wonders for our economy. And bro, just the joy around the place.
People are so happy,
out of
man.
this world, bro.
So happy.
Out of even
beautiful.
myself, bro. I'd wake up like the World Cup. I'd watch any game.
Bro, it'd be 12 o'clock,
Any
bro. You're
game.
all
Wow.
gathered in a room. you're
Yeah,
like,
but
That's
it was just
beautiful,
the
eh? I
best
love
thing.
that.
That's what the World Cup does.
Yeah, so hopefully it does the same for Qatar as well, man. Like
Yeah, I
just
don't need it.
happiness for the people.
Bro, so the World Cup final has 13%, but this is me again, this documentary, 13% of the world's population watching the same thing at once. 1.8 billion
That's
people
why they call it the World Game.
are watching the same thing at the same time. How fucking crazy is that?
That is.
What a documentary. We're going to link it in the bio. Please watch it.
13% is not 1.8 billion. Our population's 8 billion.
I don't know, bro. That's what he said. It's close to it.
Because they quote
No,
us
it's
that,
check.
so I'm just telling
It'd be
you.
like 7%.
How many billion is there?
8.
8 billion.
In the world?
Yeah, so that's almost 30%.
Because what's
20%.
wrong with you?
What?
Think of it.
1.8 out of 8
Yeah.
is
It's,
a
it's,
quarter.
it's nearly two.
800
28
million is
25.
10%.
Yeah.
And then use half that,
Yeah.
right, which is 400 mil,
Yeah. What's wrong? Yeah.
which is 15%.
Yeah.
And then 1.2,
Yeah.
it's a little bit higher than what Adam said.
Yeah, bro.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Cut that.
It's actually 25%, but anyway, yeah.
How's it
point
25%?
How's it
Think of
25?
it. 25, so 8?
You're 200
25
million
is
off
2.
25% would be 2
It's
billion.
2468.
Correct.
You said 1.8 is very close to 2. So it's like 20%, 22%. Doesn't matter anyway. We're bickering over numbers. Relax.
No, grab your phone. Grab your phone. Let's do it. Calculator.
Cuz we're starting a math podcast.
We'll
as
just
well, so
we'll go
so
1.8
Get your
divided
calculators
by...
out.
Other way around.
8 bill divided. Or did I say
You have
8
to turn
bill
your
times
phone. You have to turn your
13%?
phone because it's too big
Just
of a
do
number.
8 and then just times it.
No, bro. You go 1.8 divided by...
Cuz you do
Times
math
by
the wrong
100.
way, bro.
Times by 100. Yeah, 22.5%.
13% would be like 1.04 billion.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's what they said in the documentary.
Yes.
Bro, that's what he said. Maybe the population's wrong. I don't know.
Okay.
But that's what he said.
Okay.
13%, I
But
remember.
how
it.
long ago was it?
Anyway.
Because the population just got to 8 billion.
Anyway.
Moving forward.
Shit, I'm on my toes in there.
Moving forward, guys, we'll move into fraud of the week.
was trying to give a round of applause before, but it's calm.
Hey, come on, yeah,
This
yeah,
is
they
for
did
Samoa,
well,
guys.
bro. They did well.
Hope I got myself out of trouble.
So
Say,
I want to start.
Chill,
We
chill.
already know
Yeah,
that
chill.
Adam's
That was my
fraud of the week.
Look, my fraud of the week.
Not
is
Samoa,
Brad-
the World Cup itself.
Yeah, the World Cup itself and Jerome Luai. Mate, I cannot stand him,
Okay.
mate. From what he did to Sam Tompkins, who I actually like, who played for the Warriors. You remember Sam Tompkins? Dragged, mate, I hate that. Mate, you always live in Nathan Cleary's shadow. I know you won't say this, Jerome, but this is me pouring my heart out. You're just shit, mate. And it annoys me. It annoys me, bro.
We don't have to get into
He
it.
annoys me, bro. Nah, fucking come, bro. You know what I am, brother. No. I'm not. I'm not calling him out, but my fraud of the
He comes down and it's like, it's on the agenda, man.
my fraud
That's
of the
not on
week.
the agenda.
Fraud of the week.
My fraud of the week is Jerome Luai. Apparently, he nearly won the tournament of the person. I just don't really rate him. I don't see why people gloat him. And
Is
it
that the
just
kid with
goes,
the long hair?
yeah,
I don't watch the NRL,
Yeah.
man, so leave me out of
it
this.
just goes to show that Nathan Cleary carries Penrith. So yeah,
you
that's
got
my fraud
one?
of the week.
I haven't watched any sport, man, apart from basketball. So if
Doesn't
you
have
ask
to
me
It
be-
doesn't have to be
Doesn't
sport,
have to
just
be
anything
any
that's
fraud of the week.
fraud.
Anyone that pissed you off.
anyone that pissed me off.
Oh no, it doesn't have to be pissed you off. Like they're just a fraud.
The
Anything.
guy
you
that
want.
the
No
guy
rules.
that interviewed Ronaldo.
Oh, I was gonna say that too.
You took
Hey,
the
you know
piss,
what?
bruv.
It's
You
gonna
got
be
paid.
true.
Hey, well done, sir. Like you got yours, you got your views in, you got your money in.
He's about to get
You
tapped
know,
by
but
TK
do you
and
think, man?
go.
That you're still a fraud. Still
Yeah,
a fraud.
Do you
so-
reckon he's a fraud for accepting? Like, what makes him the fraud, though?
I'll tell you what makes him the fraud.
Get into
Literally
it, T.
accepting
I've never
anything in that,
seen-
bro, he wasn't going to question nothing.
Yeah.
He wasn't going to change his views. He was just getting Ronaldo there was enough for him.
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, dad.
He just
I got
wants
this
his
interview.
piece.
No one
I
else is
have-
going to get that.
Never ever seen a bigger dick rider than that bloke,
Hey,
bro.
yo!
I'm sorry, bro. That guy's ass was so far up. That guy's head was so far up Ronaldo's ass that the guy could fucking taste what the bloke had for breakfast.
Say less.
Bro, sorry. The guy was sitting there like, oh, Ronaldo. So, would you say you're better looking than Rooney?
I know,
You're so
bro.
fit. You're so
Bro,
fit.
how weird was that? I was on a train. I'm like, what the fuck am I
Guys,
watching?
just do the interview. Do the interview. If you want an interview, fucking ask questions, challenge the bloke. Again, I get it. You're trying to get bread and you're trying to
He's
get that
just trying to get his
exclusive.
piece up,
Well
bro.
done, bro. But
Literally.
I've never seen a bigger D rider than him. But to add on to that, my fraud of the week is this club here, Manchester United.
What? That's controversy.
Right? It's not controversy. The Ronaldo situation.
No, it's
The Ronaldo
controversial.
situation happened because we didn't do business properly in fucking June. The guy wanted to leave. The manager wasn't getting on with the bloke. We should have cut ties then.
Shipped him
Someone in management should have fucking gone, this isn't going to end well. And no one did.
Yeah.
And look at where we are at now. So we've, in a way, brought this upon on ourselves. And as much as Ronaldo has slacked us off, we kind of got to take some blame in this situation. That's my fault.
Say-
I wasn't saying it was controversy, that the whole situation. I'm saying you saying your own club. That's
No, can I be honest
controversial,
with you, man? Like, I've at times I'd question myself. Does T actually like United?
No, he does.
Bro,
He just
he's
holds
the
people
biggest
accountable.
critic.
No, he holds people
Yeah.
accountable, bro.
Him.
He's like, I love
Tell
you.
you, but he's the
but
biggest
you're
critic
gonna-
at United. At the like,
I love being like that, bro.
even when they have a good game, like I'm like, oh, T, your team won 2-0. Like,
Yeah, but they
nah,
could fix
happy.
this. They could
Nah,
fix
I'm
that.
like, what are you talking about? You what, bro?
Perfectionist.
Chelsea won 2-0. I'm not saying a word, bro. I'm happy, brother.
Perfectionist.
And you know what it is as well. You hold people accountable, bro. Even the people you love. If
Nah,
you
they
see them
hold-
acting
hey,
up,
they
you're
hold
gonna
me
fix them up.
accountable, bro.
By the way, I wanted to do this in opportunities here. So Mems and Suey, I'm gonna say the number 21. I want to see if you guys watch the podcast this far. So when you finish the podcast, you guys got to come into the group chat and put this number in the chat. So I know you watched every single minute. The number is 21. We're all gonna hold you accountable. We're all-
21's in the Anna team's
We're-
memes are supported.
We're all. On that note, adios, guys.
Let's wrap it up, boys.
Thanks for tuning in. It was a pleasure.
Thank you so much for having us. Enjoy the rest of your week. And please watch the link that we're talking about. It's right here, apparently.
That's it.
Like,
the
comment,
doco, no,
share,
it's going to be
subscribe.
below.
Yeah, and make sure you do your math, okay?
1.8 divided
And
by.
we have
Get
no
out,
hate
get
against
off
no one.
it.
We're just
Get
sharing
off
our
it.
opinions, man.
That's it.
And I love,
boys.
love.
Thanks,
Mwah.
guys.
Peace.